Pet parents should definitely do a lot of research about what suits you the most.
Exactly.
Whether you are ready to be a pet parent. Uh, a lot of my friends, when I talk to them, and when they, especially friends who don't relate to pets, laugh at me when I say this. But I always believe and say that having a pet is as equal as having a kid, right?
Exactly.
The way
You
you
have that
plan
for life.
before you have a kid, the same way you plan before you have a pet, in all ways. Hi,
Hi.
Saloni.
Hi. So, I was just talking about you. So, I would also like you to start, you to introduce yourself. Tell us about Flop. Tell us about you.
Sure, of course. I think, firstly, thank you so much, Dotspot, for having me on the live session. Thank you so much, Saloni. I've known Dotspot forever now, and it's indeed a pleasure to be on the live session. So about myself, you know, I'm not sure what is the introduction you've given, so maybe
And you
I'll
can
wait
just
for you to
start
tell
from
about.
scratch. That also works.
I'm sorry.
You can just start from the beginning. Tell us everything, So how it began, everything.
Sure. So I'm Shruti. I'm sure most of you would have seen my name. Firstly, thank you all so much for joining in for the live video. I'm using this as an opportunity to talk about Flope, and I'm just present here to represent Flope and the team out there. So about myself, I'm Shruti. I started Flope about a year and a half ago. Flope, we call it a pet tech company because we're using technology to integrate various pet service providers, product companies, and doctors onto one platform. So the idea behind Flope is to make it a one-stop solution for all pet needs. So so it's been a great journey. I think we'll make this session more interactive, Saloni. I will
Definitely.
talk about Flope whenever I get an opportunity, but let's make it interactive for the viewers and for people who've joined DocSpot Live, because I don't want to go talking about Flope all the time.
Obviously, we would also like to know, what's the concept behind Flow. So, how did the idea came to you? Like, what inspired you to actually start it, leaving a job? So you told me that you've been working. So you left a job, then you started this. So how was
Right.
the journey?
So, I think I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Never really explored the idea of quitting a job and doing something on my own. But I think Flope came to me through my boy Charlie. When we brought him home is when the idea kind of triggered.
Who is
Because,
a
so I
golden
started as a
retriever, I
pet
guess,
parent.
right?
I'm sorry?
Charlie is a golden retriever, right?
Charlie is now a 4-year golden retriever. He just turned 4 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so he
Oh,
came
that's
home in 2016. And yeah, so my journey in the pet industry started as a pet parent, not as a pet entrepreneur. So I was a pet parent first, saw the issues in the industry, figured out the gaps in the industry, and I think that's when the idea triggered, and then I took it up seriously. I wouldn't credit all to myself for that. I've had a group of people who kind of supported me through it, who encouraged me through it, and here we are today.
I also remember you talk about your teammates a lot. So I also remember talking to you the other day and you were telling me how supportive that your teammates have been. So would you also like to, maybe give a shout out and tell us about them?
Yeah, so anybody who talks to me about Flope would never leave a conversation without me mentioning about my team. We started, I'm sure they must be on the live video as well. We
We
started as a
also
team
have
of 4.
someone, sorry to interrupt you. We also have someone saying hi Shruti, much love from Startup Cell, Karnataka. I think you might
Thank
know
you
him.
so much. Thank you so much, Abra. Really nice of you. Thank you so much for being here. In fact, I take this opportunity to thank Startup Cell Karnataka and NASCOM in Bangalore. They've been extremely supportive of Flope, and yeah, thank you, Abrar.
Okay, you were just
Okay.
telling us about your teammates.
Yeah, so I was saying that anybody who's had a conversation with me about Flope would never leave a conversation one without talking about my team. Uh, Of course, all of these go as equals, right? One is
Yeah.
about Charlie. Charlie is like the brand ambassador. I'm just doing a job which he's given me, is what I always say. So Charlie, Nitin, my husband, my parents, and my team. So all of these people have been very, very integral in my journey. So thanks for bringing up about the team. I'm sure most of them must be online here. Anybody from the Flow team, if you're online, just say a wave or
Give
just
a
say
hello.
hello. Because Flow, it's
Oh, we have
nothing.
someone, Dhruv, I think.
No, I think that's a general hello.
Then hi, Dhruv.
But I think anybody from the Flow team should maybe just say a Floper hello, just to make it different, because we call ourselves Flopers. But
Oh.
yes, the team has been extremely integral. I was mentioning before, we interrupted that. We started as a team of 4, just as a group of friends. I'm hoping they're also on the video. We started just as a team of 4, just came 4 pet lovers joined together and discussed the idea. And I told them about my idea. And with no second thought, we were like, let's just start. And all of them have been very integral in the journey of Flope. And now we just grew to a team of 7. We've had 2 graduates who joined in, one for marketing and one for business analytics. We are a very young team, is what I say, young in all ways you could think of. There we have Yukta, who's part of the team now.
Actually have a question. So Rana sir, hi Rana sir. So Rana sir, I have a question for you. That is, what are the 3 things you have learned being an entrepreneur?
Rana, that's a tough question. You just put me on the spot. There are so many things I've learned as an entrepreneur. Sorry, Rana, I'll answer your question, but Saloni, if you're following the comments, we have Nanda, we have Aditya, Yukta, who've been saying Flopers. They're all from my team.
Okay.
So I would say to say a hello to all of them. I'm representing all of them today. And yes, so
Like a big
Rana,
shout out to all the Flopers.
Yes, a big shout out to all the Flopers out there. Nitin had joined in earlier. Nitin is my husband and the director at Flope. Would not have been possible without him. Charlie, my parents, everybody has been very integral. And Saloni, I must say that you started off the conversation in a very nice way, bringing my team, onto the live chat. I think. Thank you for that. I would have anyway done that. You just did that before me. I'm happy.
Has to be.
So going to Rana's question, Rana, what have I learned as an entrepreneur? I think you'll get a very different answer from me. You're not going to get the common answers. So for me, I think entrepreneurship has taught me all about life values. It's taught me all about what life purpose means and what people mean, what relationships mean. For me, it's been a very different kind of learning. I take it in a very different way. Entrepreneurship has taught me responsibility. It has taught me ownership. It has taught me relationships. And it has taught me the value of time more than anything.
More importantly, yeah.
Yes. And I see a lot of people who've joined in, who've been passing on a lot of messages. Thank you so much. Thank you, Arnab. Yes, we studied together.
So also tell us, how was the whole shift, what challenges you faced, like, doing a job, then being an entrepreneur, like maybe for all the budding entrepreneurs out there. So like, how was, what struggles you had?
Well, initially you would, if you had met me like a year ago, I think I would have had enough things which came about as challenges. But now looking back, I think those have just been opportunities. I'm not saying it for the sake of saying it, but, one, of course, it's not easy to move from a comfortable corporate job into starting up a company, because, you're taking a responsibility of not just for yourself, but for a team which is working out there. And Flope as an idea came about as a very thoughtful project. Like I said, when I became a pet parent myself, is when I realized the issues that we have in the industry. Simple situations like me seeing a lot of breeding places out there, like really small puppy mills, put me through a thought process about why is it like this? Like today, anything that we want, pretty much anything can be done with technology, but why not for pets? And we call them family, right? And Charlie, unfortunately, happened to have a health issue because of wrong breeding methods. That put us through a bit of stress. But but yes, the whole project started with Charlie coming, so we owe a lot to him. And of course, the team which is working with me currently are all pet lovers or pet parents. So they kind of relate to the idea. And yeah, it's been a great journey. So all the challenges we've just managed to convert into opportunities, which again, it's not just me. I think the pet industry, I should probably start thanking Rana to begin with, because he's one of the first people I met when I started Flow. And just be honest, I like being honest always. And just to be honest on this live video, when I wanted to start Flow, I'm sure my team will agree with me. We've had times when we just sat there and we're like, oh my God, there's a company called DogSpot, which is funded by Ratan Tata. How do we compete with them? Like, they're already doing a lot in the country, right? So, and you know, when I met Rana for the first time, I was like, okay, what do I have an interaction? Like, he's an expert of the industry, but he was so supportive, and till date, the team at DogSpot, Rana, Gaurav, and a lot of pet entrepreneurs out there, Rashi from Heads Up for Tails, Shireen Merchant, and a lot of really, experienced pet entrepreneurs in India have been very, very helpful. So I think lucky that I did not really face challenges which could not be addressed. But yes, some of the challenges are very common across different entrepreneurs. But
we also have another question from Rana sir. So what is Flow doing differently during lockdown? So you're also talking about, how are things different during the lockdown and everything. Yeah.
absolutely. So Flow, we launched a couple of initiatives during the lockdown. We've launched online and on-call vet consultations for pet parents. Particularly because of the reason that people cannot really go out to clinics and they may not want to step out. And at the same time, it's important for us to make sure that all the pets are safe and healthy. So we've launched online, on-call, and home visits by veterinary doctors. And we're also delivering pet products to pet parents out there. So we've tied up with quite a few retailers. Yeah.
Which also reminds me that DogSpot is also delivering all across India. So we have a lot of, we have dog food, which is obviously an essential. So we're delivering all across India. So anyone who want to order dog food can go to our website or just call up our pet helpline number. So they can just simply order maybe through WhatsApp or just call us up, as simple as that. And we also have, a list of all the operational vets right now on our blog. So, if you cannot find, so if you actually have to go to a vet and you cannot find a vet nearby, you can, go to a blog and we have a list of vets who are operational during this time. They may have different timings as of now, but you can still, book an appointment and, if you have any emergency, you can definitely call them up.
Sure. And I can vouch for DogSpot's food because Charlie is hand.
So tell us more about Charlie, So how
I'm not sure if Mana is good enough for me to talk about Charlie.
I think that is good for every pet parent, right? They can talk about their dogs.
Right? They can just go on and on about it. Charlie, I just mentioned, Charlie is now a 4-year-old golden retriever. He came home when, about 4 years ago. So he was about 2 months old when he came home. He's a very good boy. that's one thing. Right? Sorry?
He's your first pet.
He's my first pet, yes. So I think I've always had some connection with pets, either with my friends and family, but we've never had one. So he's our first pet and extremely pampered, happy-go-lucky boy. And yeah, so he's kind of brought a lot of things together for me in my life. With him coming in, I always knew I wanted to do something on my own, but I never knew he'll bring in an idea along with him. So looking back, I think his purpose of coming into our lives was very different. And thanks to him that, he keeps inspiring us to serve a lot more pet parents and pets out there.
And okay, so I have another question from you. So what have you learned from dogs? Like, working for them and with them, obviously.
So lots of things. I mean, animals in general, I would say, I wouldn't specify dogs, but maybe I get to learn a lot about dogs because I live with one.
Yeah.
One is, I think, the empathy and compassion that they carry is a lot more than what we can imagine as humans. And I constantly get reminded about what it means to be happy with what we have, and what it means to not always think of materialistic things to be happy in life.
We can also, all the people that are watching right now. So if you have pets or you've been around pets, we would also like to know what you've learned from, animals. So you can also comment down below. Okay, yeah, go on.
So I think compassion, empathy, unconditional love, which goes unsaid, and patience, a lot of things that we can learn from dogs. But on a funny note, I learn a lot from Charlie because he's a golden retriever and he loves eating. So I learned how to be
full of energy.
Yeah, I love how he just believes, like when we're eating our meal, he just sits there looking at us till we finish eating with the hope that he is going to get something for sure, right? Like he doesn't even move his head this way or that way. He just keeps looking straight at the plate. So that always constantly reminds me about how you should keep striving hard for something that you really want and believe in it to get it finally, right? So on a funny note, whenever I feel like I think I should give up, or whenever I feel like I think this is not working out, I just remind myself about how he keeps trying hard for something that he really wants. So on a funny note, I learned that as well.
I think, everyone learns something or another from animals, There's so much to learn while being around them.
Absolutely. I think it's just a matter of us paying a little attention towards animals. And there's so much we can learn. Like all the answers that we want about life, I think we just get it from animals and environment in general.
They have it all sorted out.
Absolutely.
So I remember you hosting a session the day before. So you're also talking a lot about collaborations, right? How, collaborations can really help everyone in the industry. So would you also like to talk about that?
Absolutely. So, so far we've just spoken about me in general and Charlie in general. So maybe we'll spend a little time talking about the company and the point that you brought up about collaboration. So one is, we always think as entrepreneurs, the first thought that comes to our mind is about how soon do we move and how fast do we do things to kind of play a role or make ourselves present in the industry for a long time, and always worry about competition, always worry about if I don't move fast, someone else might just take out the position, right? And especially the case in the pet industry in India, because everybody knows that the industry is growing massively. So you mentioned it right, that I'm a strong believer of collaborations and working together rather than looking at a company and saying that there are competitors. I don't think we can really talk to them or work with them, right? I believe in collaborations because I always think this way, that we all have limited resources in terms of time, in terms of efforts, in terms of skill sets. If we join hands together and if we all work as individuals, if we all not work as individuals but work as a team, there's a lot more that we can achieve in the long run.
Okay, so we have another question. So what is your opinion about the opportunities in the pet industry for new startups, and how is it different from the US pet industry? That's again from Rana sir.
Right. So the opportunities, I think, are massive. Like if we look at every aspect of the pet industry, there's so much we can do. And today, I would say, even if we have a good number of pet players, in the pet industry, there's so much to do. It's not going to really, say that, okay, there are 10 players in the market, so I think it's saturated. It's not that way. And I see that the next 5 years, it's only going to grow with this generation, with the number of pets which are coming in. The industry is only going to grow, and the more people we have in the industry, the better it is for all of us. So I would insist that anybody who's a passionate entrepreneur and who's passionate about pets should definitely consider doing something in the pet industry, because the more number of players, the more strength it is for the Indian pet industry. And while compared to the US pet industry, I think US the market is, has been pretty, I would say pretty organized maybe in comparison to India. And every time I talk to any of the pet companies in the US or in any other parts of the world, we just realize that there's more opportunity in India, considering the population, which holds true across different industries, considering the population, considering the growth. I think there is more opportunity in India. Given the right approach and given the right way of doing things, there's so much we can do in the next 3 to 5 years.
That's actually a very good point. Thank you, Rana, sir, for the question. And do you also have, since you've already, you've been a pet parent, you've worked with, pet brands. So do you have any, message that you want to give to pet parents? Like, something that you've learned, working in the industry. You're also telling me about, how people don't do enough research.
Right. Important point. So, my message to all the pet parents and future pet parents would be to do your bit of research before you take a decision. So the only change from your question remains, Saloni, is that, my point is not just about the products, but I think, what anybody who's looking at the pet industry or to become a pet parent should realize is it's not just about having a pet, whether it's a dog, cat, fish, or a hamster. It may be, any kind of a pet. It's not just about having a pet. Pet parents should definitely do a lot of research about what suits you the most, whether you are ready to be a pet parent. A lot of my friends, when I talk to them, and when they, especially friends who don't relate to pets, laugh at me when I say this, but I always believe and say that having a pet is as equal as having a kid. Exactly. Right? The way you plan before you have a kid, the same way you plan before you have a pet, in all ways, right? Whether it is family, whether it is your finances, whether it is your space in the house, you got to do your research to see what kind of a pet suits you. And first of all, whether you're ready to take up the responsibility or whether you should wait. Because a lot of times it's unfortunate that we hear people say golden retrievers are so cute and Rottweilers are so cute and, Rottweilers are large, so I feel safe with them. A lot of times both me and my husband, Nitin, we talk about this, that one of the reasons Flope actually came about as an idea is before we brought Charlie home, we were looking to adopt a dog, right? And at that point, we tried looking up in a lot of Facebook groups. We tried asking a lot of people, and there were a lot of mixed answers out there who said that you cannot adopt a dog. They'll have a lot of issues. They'll have a lot of health problems. So that's when we realized that there's really no single platform which kind of gives you valid information or which gives you valid thought. And there's nobody out there whom you can even talk to about it and find out whether it is true. Or how to go about
when you don't know anyone in the industry. So when you're a new pet parent, you don't know anyone.
Exactly. So we always think that we did not bring Charlie home because he's a golden retriever or because he's so cute. Like today, when you look at every dog, they're cute. Like there's no single dog, cat, or any animal out there whom we just look at and like, oh, he doesn't look good. Like
just want to go and pet them.
It never happened, right? So
exactly.
So, my first point is when I see people say Rottweilers are handsome or golden retrievers are cute and Shih Tzus are tiny, I can just carry them and walk around, right? So, I think the first research that people should do is about which pet suits you, and if you say dog is the one, then which breed or why even go with a breed? You might want to adopt a native dog because they have they're used to the Indian weather and everything about India, so it might just be easier for them to adjust rather than bringing in foreign breed. Right? So, like for example, when I brought Charlie home, of course, I always adored dogs, particularly golden retrievers. A little bit of ignorant me at that point. I take the blame,
And they are cute.
but you know, there is a lot of research that went behind us deciding that you know, it's a golden retriever finally. Like for example, you know, I remember we wanted a beagle initially, but then we did not. Like I did my research about beagle to find out that they're hyperactive dogs.
They're so naughty.
Yeah, they're very naughty. I mean, they have tons of energy. They're hyperactive, constant exercise. And at that point, I kind of assessed that with my family, you know, and the reason why we brought Charlie home was more for my dad because he had just retired from his work. And, you know, I wanted him to be occupied. So Charlie came home more for my dad. So when I compared my family situation with dogs, I realized that probably beagle is not a best fit for us because I cannot expect my parents to keep playing with them all the time. Right, and I go for work, so I wouldn't want to put them through that constant stress. And so, what I mean to say is, in short, right from which pet to which dog or cat to how much time you have for them, everything is a decision, and it's no different from the decision you take for a kid. So my message to any pet parents out there or more for the future pet parents is do your research. And for the existing pet parents, you have any doubts, reach out to DogSpot, reach out to Flope. We are all here for you to make pet parenting easier, right? So we're not selling our companies, but yes, you should definitely reach out for help.
Yeah. We also have a question by Rana sir. Do you think we need more policies and standards in the industry, in the pet industry?
I would say yes. You know, all the issues that I mentioned about the industry now brings us to that point of having standards and policies in the industry. This is again something to be compared with the US industry, US pet industry or the global pet industry. That, you know, it is a lot more streamlined, and there's no denying that. You know, I would also think that probably. Sorry to interrupt. I'm just going to say hi to my friend Vaishnavi. Hi. So yeah. So you know, it is definitely a lot more streamlined out there, and we need more policies. We need to make sure that the industry is streamlined. And particularly with the way it's growing, it is extremely crucial that we have the right policies in place. You know, we have the right control of each of the service providers in place. You know, today it's sad. Like we focus more on the services side of the pet industry, be it the boarding centers, grooming centers, be it any kinds of pet care services, right? It's extremely sad when we sometimes go to a boarding center and see that it's a tiny house and they've just converted that into small kennels where a dog can hardly fit, right? You can actually see the kennels and the dog is kind of stuffed in there and they call it a boarding center, which is terrible, right? Which is something that we definitely have to get a control over. And today people are able to do that because there's no policy, there's no standardization. Very important that, you know, we bring in policies in place and standards in place. So I see a lot more people from my network joining in. Thank you, Sushant. Thank you, Prabhu. I of course, I must have missed a few people before. Don't get offended.
Are they part of your team?
No, they're not. Well, they're part of my supporting team. They've been forever motivators now. They're part of my extended family.
And do your teammates have any pets?
All of them, or most of them. So, yeah. So I think most of us are dog lovers, pet lovers in some sense. You know, one of my early flopers, so we call ourselves flopers, one of the early flopers, Nanda, she had joined the video. I'm sure she must be. You know, she's from a tier 2 place in Karnataka, and she's lived with cows and cats and different kinds of animals throughout. So she is a pet lover, animal lover in the truest sense. And then we have Vinoop, whom we call the voice of Flope. He is a dog parent and he builds aquariums. So yes, that's him. And then we have Akshay, who is also a dog parent and a cat parent, rather a dog sibling. And then we have Aditya and Yukta, who joined in, who are from Chandigarh and Bangalore respectively. Yukta is a pet lover, but she loves dogs. I think she had one. Aditya has one. So yeah, everybody is a pet.
That's so nice. You were also, talking about how you always feel connected to dog lovers, like had a different connection and how much, you really like talking to them.
You put me in the spot. Like, I have people who are watching this video who are not dog lovers. Just kidding. So what I mean to say is, I believe, it's only my belief, it's not said. I believe that anybody who has had a pet in life or who loves pets or who is an animal lover in general but has no pets, the thought process is very, very different.
I mean, I don't have a pet, but I'm like super crazy about them.
But you're a dog spot, so you fit into our group.
I qualify.
Yeah, of course. So I believe that, we all are a different breed of people. The thought process that we carry is extremely different, is what I believe, because we look at life very differently. Like today, I know people who just look at me and they're like, why did you leave your job? Or why did you, decide to do something in the pet industry? And it is unfortunate when I've met investors who said, why pet industry? The same effort you put into a different industry, you would have made ton-loads of money by now, right? So, but it really does not work that way, for us, right? Like we think very differently. So the reason I say that I relate to people who love animals is probably because as a person, I am like that. I carry tons of compassion and empathy. And, probably one of the things we love about our industry is till date, I'm sure Vinoop will vouch for it. He's the business development head in our team. He leads the business development and sales for us. Till date, we've never had a single person we spoke to who just cut the call on us and said, never call me back. Right? We've never had a rude customer, or we've never had a rude.
And he's saying, okay, someone else is saying they also don't have a pet. I think you know them.
Yes. but they know Charlie. They've been around Charlie, so you qualify. So.
I also have another question. So basically, this is like 2-3 questions mixed in one. So how do you think are vets different than human doctors?
I'm sorry?
How do you think vets are different than human doctors? That's also kind of, like a follow-up question to what you were saying. How you feel that people who actually love animals are different?
No, I think it's a tough comparison to make, is what I feel, because again, vets have.
It's not really a comparison, I think. It's like there is a difference.
Right.
I mean, treating a human versus an animal who cannot actually speak.
Right. So I think vets have a tougher job in the sense that, pets don't really speak about what they're feeling, or they don't really tell about what is happening to them. Right. And, we take a pet to the clinic with a few symptoms, and vet takes a lot of responsibility to say that this could be a problem or this could be the possible solution. So they're taking a lot of ownership and responsibility secretly, right, or without really having a base to it. So I think their job is more difficult that way. They're working with the voiceless, and they're kind of taking a lot of decisions on behalf of them, which is very, very hard. And, particularly during this COVID-19 time, like I said, we took these initiatives on the online and on-call consultation space. and we are just touched by the way some of the vets work. We are touched to see how much of an effort they actually put into making pet lives better. Just last night at about 11:30 in the night, we had a situation where a pet parent reached out to us and said that the dog was not keeping well already, and they reached out to us, and my colleague Vinu, he just WhatsApped the doctor and asked, "Are you okay to take a call?" And it's at 11:45 or 12 in the night that he actually consulted on a call. And not just Flow, there are many companies out there who are doing this, and for vets to be supportive is a great thing.
Yeah.
Yes, but I wouldn't really say that human doctors don't do it. I think doctors in general get the credit. Probably the biggest difference is that vets are doing it on behalf of them without really hearing what they say. So yeah.
There's another one which is also something like that, where answer only, how are saloons different than human saloon? So basically, one of the things that I can think of is, when a human does not like your haircut, you cannot say the same for human dogs. They like the haircut anyway.
Yeah, so how are salons different? One, they're cute. they're like adorable to walk into. But I agree with you. I think human salons, we go with a lot of expectations. Pet salons or dog salons, there are no expectations. You're just going there. They have no clue what it is about. But there is definitely scope for good salons, more such salons in the country. There are probably countable few who are really good and who are worth going to. So we should definitely see how to increase that number of grooming salons and pet salons in general. But yeah, they're very different in the sense that at least the ones which are new in the last couple of years, I think they're very well maintained, and there are professional groomers. Thanks to all the grooming professionals in India who've trained outside and come back to India to implement it. A lot of respect goes to them, because given a choice, they would settle outside India, but they've come back to India to serve the Indian pets. So a lot of respect goes out to them. But one of the efforts which Flow constantly puts in is to see how do we increase skilled professionals. We recognize the fact that not everybody can go to a US or a UK to study a particular pet care course and come back to India. One of our constant efforts and thoughts have been to how do we bring in international certifications into India, and how do we make sure that the Indian standards are at par with international standards. It's not going to happen overnight for sure, but it's definitely something we can get to.
We have another question. So how do you think this pandemic has hit the pet industry, especially in India? So do you see an increase in people trying to adopt pets? I think, which is kind of a different question, or has fallen behind? So I think these are two different questions, which is,
Yeah, and interestingly, it has two kinds of answers. On one hand, we see people abandoning pets, like the number of abandoned pets have gone up. If I'm right by the numbers that I saw recently, they've gone up by about 45%, which is pretty scary. But on the other hand, we see people being extremely sensitive, not just to their own pets, but to the animals around their localities, to make sure that they're well fed. And we see a lot more people actively involving themselves in feeding strays.
Going out
right?
and feeding, yeah.
Exactly. So which is why I feel like it's a very mixed notion that we're getting right now, that we will definitely see a change in the perspective of having a pet. Also because we've been spending, we are on a lockdown, we've been home, and there is a constant awareness which goes out, which talks about how having a pet around makes a lot of difference during a situation like a lockdown, and how having a pet in the house makes you feel a lot more better and a lot more calmer, right? So people who've experienced that will definitely become more sensitive to pets, and I see that number growing. But the ones who've been abandoning dogs, I empathize with them because, this is not expected.
Not a good
Uh,
time to.
yeah, and how this has affected the pet industry is an interesting question because we've seen a lot of new initiatives in the industry which has not happened in the last couple of years that have happened in the last 2 weeks, right? Like suddenly you see so many companies coming out there saying we're doing online consultations with vets, and
Exactly,
when
yeah.
we talk to vets here, they are like extremely interested in doing something like this, right? So I think the pandemic has kind of speeded a lot of things for the industry, which is great.
So is it like, the pandemic is trying to bring people together? So like everyone's have gone online, they're
Absolutely.
trying to, connect in one way or another.
Absolutely. So I think, the pandemic has, I agree with you, Saloni, because the industry has really truly come together, right?
Yeah.
The industry has just like, I was just telling my family this morning that I'm like wondering how do I get back to normal lives now? Like this has been such a different experience both for us as individuals and for work and for the industry because for example, let's talk about the DocSpot live videos. Like I've been watching DocSpot live pretty much every day, and you've been bringing some great people live who can talk about pet nutrition, who can talk about different aspects of pet care and pet industry in general, which probably would not have been this fast-paced had it
As
not been for the
working with
pandemic.
India.
So
Yeah.
going back to the question, I think it's been a good change for the pet industry, and I only see this growing, multifold. In terms of initiatives in the industry, there have been a lot. And I also see that this has been a great time. Like I think in these 2 weeks, I've spoken to at least about 14 different companies globally, trying
Oh,
to
that's
understand
nice.
how they are dealing with the situation and how the situation has been different in different countries. And the kind of perspectives we get are very, very different from what we hear in India.
Okay. So we have another question. So I think we kind of did, discuss that. So do you have any advice for pet parents? So actually what we discussed was, do you have any advice for, budding pet parents, people who are thinking to get a pet? So this is kind of a different question.
Yeah, I think I covered that point before when I said that before you become a pet parent, it's important for you to know whether you're ready to have a pet first of all, and if you
This
are ready to have a
this
pet.
is the thing. So basically, it's an advice for pet parents who are already, people who already have
The
pets.
existing ones. The existing ones, you mean?
Yeah, existing ones. Exactly.
Yeah, so I think the advice would be to, I'm sure majority, or I would say a good percentage of pet parents are already those who consider pets family. I'm sure they kind of give equal importance to the pets, and at least the audience we are talking to right now are people who really care about pets, which is why they reach out to companies
Totally.
like Ford and Flow. Um,
Yeah.
so the advice to them would be to, I always have very high regards to pet parents who kind of put in that extra effort for their pets. So I would say, kudos to you all for doing that. I think that really, really makes a big difference. The advice
Exactly.
would be to keep continuing to explore newer pet companies which are coming in and the existing pet companies which have been there. Join hands with us to make sure that we give you the best. And I think as we speak today, there are enough companies in the country who are constantly working on making pet parenting better in some sense.
Yeah.
It could
And
be
easier.
related to food, it could be related to products, it could be related to services or just vet healthcare or anything in general. There have been so many people who are constantly putting in efforts to make it easier for you all, for all the pet parents. I think the next few years are going to be easier for you in terms of your responsibility as a parent. But my request would be that if there is anything that you're looking for specifically, which has not been addressed by any companies, I think that is when you should reach out to companies like DocSpot or Flow or any pet company out there asking for that, so we know what you're looking for.
We have another question by Planet Us Podcast. So what would be the ideal end goal for Flop? So what is the ultimate goal? What are you hoping for? What do you have in your mind? What's the dream thing that you would like?
Goal is a good point to talk about, but I think end goal is not something that we're looking at right
Not the
now.
right word, I would say.
Yeah, so we've not really put an end goal to it. But of course, what would make us happy, would be a situation when, the line which I always say, as a dream for myself and a dream that we've set for the team is today the way we look at companies and say, oh, you want this service, you can just talk to this company. Like, it's a very wide, large dream to have, but nobody stops us from dreaming. So, so today the way people say Xerox for photocopy, right? It's become synonymous. So I always tell my team, and this has been like a dream, that the day people, associate Flow with a pet care service, I think that will be the day when I'll be happy. Of course, it may not be anytime soon. It's not an easy dream to get to, but we can get there for sure. So, in terms of goals, one of the important goals we've set for ourselves is, to we're talking about services. I'm not really sure if this can be measured as a goal, but at least in terms of its thought and in terms of its feel, we know of pet parents who really go to any extent for their pets. We know of pet parents who don't really calculate how much they're spending for the pets on a monthly basis, which also means that these are pet parents who really deserve good services, right? So for us, the first goal is to make sure that all that the pet parents are willing to spend or have been spending, we find good quality services for them, which is worth their money, and we just encourage them to do all that they can to pamper their pets. That will be one of our first goals from the services perspective. But as a long-term goals, there are quite a few. We'll be taking one step at a time.
So what are the future plans for Flow? What do we expect to see in future? Anything you have planned in the recent time?
Yeah, so I think, in terms of plans, like one thing I was telling you about is certification, bringing in the right quality services into India. We are exploring the opportunity of bringing in certification into various pet care services in India. It has been in our plan for quite some time now, and we continue to work on it. It's not as simple as we thought it would be. Because we're trying to set up something that is currently not there in India at a very large scale.
Yeah.
For the future plans, I think we will continue to do what we're doing today. In terms of our platform, in terms of building the tech capabilities to ensure that we become the one-stop solution, but not very late that we realized it's going to be a continuous process. So services and healthcare is our primary focus. For products, we work with product companies in a very different way, but when it comes to catering to pet parents, it's more of services and healthcare that we're focused on.
All right. So I also have another. So if someone else has a question, I think we've almost come to an end. So if you have any other questions, we would like them. So there's one more thing. So if somebody let's say they're a startup or anything that they would like to work with you and collaborate with you, or if somebody have a question, so how can they contact Flow? How can they reach out to you?
Yeah, so Flow, www.flow.com is our website. We are also present on all the social handles. We are very active.
Also, I want to, tell us the full form of Flow, which we haven't talked about yet.
I think I'll leave anybody who's listening to tell us what is the full form of Flow. But all that we spoke about, let me see how well you know Flow. So before we end the video, I hope to see at least a few people type in what is Flow. Of course, other than the core team. I wouldn't want the Flow team to type in what is Flow, but anybody else.
They'll probably be the first one to do that, I think.
So, sorry, going back to your question, we are present across all social channels. You can always reach out, through any of. I just told my team not for them, but they're proactive. This is just a way of showing how proactive Flowers are. So, but yeah, we have another answer. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
So you can always reach out to us on our handles, our social handles, and we also have our direct mobile numbers for the team on our website. And of course, anytime just write in, and we are pretty prompt in our responses.
That's so great. So I think it's almost
Mhm.
the end now, and we have so many people writing. Okay, we have another question, so let's just end it with that. How's Charlie? How is he doing during the lockdown? I'm sure he must be like super excited, happy to see you all the
Charlie is
time.
as happy as he can be because he's been around family for a long time now. This lockdown has probably been like his dream life, like probably the life he's always dreamt of.
We have so many people typing in.
Lovely. So thank you, Saloni, and thanks to DocSpot for having me. I not because I'm live
Definitely.
today, but I think this initiative that you guys have taken to bring in so many pet enthusiasts together is great. I must thank the entire team, Rana, Gaurav, for making this happen. I'm just hoping that this will be a good time for all
To
of
actually
us
come
to
together.
kind of set a new trend in the pet industry. I am in for that for sure. And I'm sure you guys are in for that. And I'm sure all the pet companies out there. And as a last word of this live session, I would just say that anybody in the pet industry in India or anywhere in the world, reach out to us. Don't look at us as a competition. We are not competing with each other. Let us collaborate. Let us work together because there's so much to do in the industry that it's not possible
Exactly.
by
Yeah.
just flow. It is not possible by just one company. So yeah, I think it's time that Indian pet industry is looked like when I talk to the global companies, some of the companies, particularly from Europe, of course, I wouldn't want to take names, but this will be a
Obviously.
memory. This will be one of the very strong memories I carry with Flow, which is, they. I spoke to the founder of the company, and he was like, the population in India is so much, and why would I spend time in streamlining the Indian pet industry when there's so much I can earn in the US industry,
Yeah.
right? And he just said that India will take years to get there. So that has been like a memory. I think it's a good memory to carry because I just want to tell everybody out there that so much to do. Let's just get together and make it happen
Yeah.
in the next 3 years or 5 years.
And everyone's here wishing all the best to Flo. And we also, from DogSpot, wish you all the best. And,
Thank you
have
so
so
much
much
for
ahead.
me.
It was lovely having you here and all your teammates. A big shout out again to all your teammates for joining us in the session. They've been, super supportive throughout the session.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you
on
so much.
behalf of the entire Flow team, thanks to DocSpot. Thanks to you guys.
All right. See ya. Bye bye.
Bye bye.